From the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC), developing Nigeria's automotive industry. This is Automotive Hour, projecting Nigeria's automotive industry to the world.
A sustainable automotive industry is not built by production alone, but by how efficiently resources are managed, reused, and reintegrated into the value chain to drive long-term industrial growth. Hello and welcome to another edition of Automotive Hour, brought to you by the National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC. This program is your gateway to the policies, innovations, and industrial practices shaping Nigeria's mobility future. I am your host, Maimuna Aweza-Zubair. This week, we spotlight recycling and the future of Nigeria's auto industry, a critical conversation on how recycling, circular economy practices, and local material recovery are helping to reduce waste, cut production costs, deepen local content, and strengthen Nigeria's automotive manufacturing base under the Nigerian Automotive Industry Development Plan. And on our stakeholder segment, we feature Pan Nigeria Limited, a pioneer vehicle assembler based in Kaduna, with a rich legacy dating back to 1975 and a major contributor to local assembly, skills development, and technology transfer within Nigeria's automotive ecosystem. But first, let's bring you the top stories making the rounds in Nigeria's automotive industry.
Nigeria's automotive industry stakeholders are intensifying calls for the urgent passage of the Nigerian Automotive Industry Development Policy, NAIDP, into law. At a forum organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Director General of the National Automotive Design and Development Council, Otumba Joseph Oluwemimo Oshonipin, emphasized that legislative backing for the NAIDP is vital to strengthening Nigeria's automotive value chain, protecting investments, and positioning the country as West Africa's automotive hub. He highlighted that since its introduction in 2014, the policy has guided the growth of the sector, attracting investment commitments from over 58 assemblers, with more than 30 companies now producing vehicles locally. The NADDC has also advanced in key areas such as technical training, local components development, and green mobility, training over 30,000 auto technicians, establishing test centers in Zaria and Enugu, and deploying solar-powered electric vehicle charging stations across the country. President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, reaffirmed the private sector's support for the passage of the policy, stressing its potential to drive industrialization, create jobs, and enhance investor confidence. Both the NADDC and the LCCI agreed that the NAIDP's legal framework would secure the future of Nigeria's automotive industry by building a fully integrated ecosystem that connects assembly, components production, innovation, and human capital development. In a decisive step towards sustainable transportation, the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC) and the Dolce Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit (GIZ) have reaffirmed their partnership to accelerate Nigeria's transition to electric mobility. The event brought together government representatives, private sector players, and international development partners to explore pathways for unlocking Nigeria's electric mobility value chain under the theme Empowering Mobility, Unlocking the Value Chain for Nigeria's Electric Future. Representing the Director General, CEO of NADDC, Otumba Oluwemimo Joseph Oshonipin, the Director of Vehicle Electrification, Engineer Abdullahi Ayinde, reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to clean, efficient, and sustainable electric transportation, and outlined NADDC's key initiatives under the Nigerian Automotive Industry Development Plan 2023 to 2033, including the development of a national electric vehicle policy, establishment of solar power charging stations, and ongoing collaborations on EV safety standards, technical training, and local vehicle assembly with firms such as Innocent Jet Motors and Hyundai Nigeria. Also addressing the gathering, Chimezie Nwosu, Advisor of Sustainable Energy Access, represented the Nigerian Energy Support Program, NESP, a joint initiative of the European Union and the German government implemented by GIZ in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Power. Mr. Nwosu emphasized that Nigeria's e-mobility shift must be inclusive, locally driven, and anchored on renewable energy. The NESP reiterated its commitment to supporting Nigeria's clean energy and transport agenda, describing e-mobility not merely as a switch from petrol to batteries, but as a strategic effort to build a domestic value chain, integrating innovation, clean energy, and job creation. Participants at the summit highlighted the importance of reliable, renewable, and affordable power as the foundation for electric mobility. By connecting EVs with solar mini-grids and distributed energy systems, stakeholders noted that Nigeria can power its transport sector sustainably while enhancing grid stability and green industrial growth. Stakeholders also commended the NADDC for its leadership in building policy frameworks, technical standards, and investment readiness, expressing optimism that continued collaboration between government, private sector, and development partners will fast-track Nigeria's journey towards a cleaner, smarter, and more sustainable transport future.
Welcome back to Automotive Hour. Now, as Nigeria works to build a resilient and globally competitive automotive industry, recycling has emerged as a vital pillar of sustainable growth. From metal recovery and plastics reuse to remanufacturing components and responsibly managing end-of-life vehicles, recycling supports cost efficiency, environmental protection, and increased local value addition across the automotive value chain. Under the NAIDP, recycling aligns with national objectives to deepen local content, reduce dependence on imported raw materials, and promote environmentally responsible industrial practices. As assemblers, policymakers, and industry stakeholders embrace circular economy principles, recycling is increasingly being recognized not just as a waste management solution, but as a strategic tool for strengthening Nigeria's automotive manufacturing ecosystem. Let's take a closer look at how recycling is shaping the present and future of Nigeria's auto industry.
The end of a vehicle's life does not have to mean the end of its value. In Nigeria, what many see as waste, end-of-life vehicles, ELVs, holds tremendous potential for environmental protection, resource recovery, job creation, and sustainable growth. With nearly 11.8 million vehicles already on our roads in 2018 and imports continuing apace, Nigeria faces a growing surge of aging, imported, or non-functional vehicles. Many arrive near end of life, yet within them lie recoverable materials, metals, plastics, engines, tires, oils, raw materials waiting for a second life. To harness this potential, the National Automotive Design and Development Council, in collaboration with the Recycling and Economic Development Initiative, REDIN, and the Federal Ministry of Justice, has developed a draft ELV regulation. A baseline study was conducted in collaboration with the United Nations Industrial Development, UNIDO, to benchmark Nigeria's ELV recycling capacity, laying the groundwork for implementation. Globally, ELV regulations help structure a circular economy, reducing pollution, reclaiming valuable materials, and ensuring safe disposal practices. Countries like Germany, Japan, and the EU have long established frameworks for vehicle decommissioning, material recovery, and end-of-life recycling mandates. Nigeria's approach through NADDC aims to align with such standards while adapting to local conditions. Under the Nigeria First agenda, ELV regulation becomes more than environmental policy. It is national industrial strategy. By recovering domestic raw materials, reducing dependence on imports, and creating downstream industries, Nigeria can reinforce its self-reliance and economic sovereignty. Implementation of ELV regulation will deliver tangibles including creation of 40,000 direct and indirect jobs, recycling of over 140,000 tons of ferrous and non-ferrous metals yearly, processing more than 2 million tires, millions of liters of engine oil, and generating over 100 billion naira in revenue, mitigating environmental hazards and improving road safety. The strategy centers on effective management and recycling of automobile waste, promoting environmental sustainability, job generation, and circular economic practices. Public awareness and stakeholder engagement are key elements. Across Kano, Lagos, Abuja, and beyond, sensitization workshops organized by the Council have brought together regulators, mechanics, assemblers, scrap dealers, and citizens to build consensus around ELV regulation. For the Director General of the NADDC, Otumba Oluemimo Joseph Osaniping, his approach envisions setting up regulated decommission centers, forging industry partnerships, and ensuring compliance across the sector. In the same vein, the Honorable Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Owan Eno, has called for collaborative support across agencies to uphold sustainable practices needed for an industrialized Nigeria. Similarly, from a legislative standpoint, Honorable Tese Ugbo, the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Environment, has reaffirmed commitments to policy crafting aligned with climate change, resource recovery, and environmental sustainability. Despite challenges of financing for ELV infrastructure, enforcement of standards across informal markets, and incentivizing scrap value chains, consistent policy application and legislative backing continues to anchor the ELV framework. Indeed, the prospects are compelling. With NADDC at the driver's seat, we envision a Nigeria where vehicles give back to the earth, where waste becomes wealth, where industry, environment, and community thrive together.
Welcome back. Beyond policy frameworks and sustainability goals, the success of recycling and local value addition in Nigeria's automotive industry depends on experienced manufacturers with deep roots in the sector. This week on our stakeholder segment, we feature Pan Nigeria Limited. Headquartered in Kaduna, Pan Nigeria Limited is one of Nigeria's pioneer vehicle assemblers, with operations dating back to 1975. Pan has assembled a wide range of recognizable global auto brands, operating a multi-brand production system capable of delivering passenger vehicles, commercial vehicles, and mass transit solutions. At its peak production cycles, Pan achieved local content levels up to 40% and has also remained a major partner in training and technology transfer, collaborating with key institutions and stakeholders to build local skills. The company contributes to policy engagement through collaboration with the Council, thus playing a strategic role in advancing sustainable manufacturing practices and strengthening Nigeria's automotive value chain. Let's take a look.
Pan Nigeria Limited has stood as a trailblazer in Nigeria's automotive history. Established in 1975, the Kaduna-based company remains one of the nation's longest-standing vehicle assemblers, known for its durability, reliability, and commitment to Nigeria's industrial growth. According to Chief Operating Officer Bawo Omagbitse, Pan has evolved over the years into a multi-brand assembly hub producing passenger vehicles, commercial autos, and mass transit models for diverse sectors of the economy. Beyond production, the company has built a strong reputation for training, technology transfer, and partnerships that strengthen Nigeria's automotive value chain. On local content, Pan Nigeria proudly highlights collaborations with over 70 local manufacturers, a partnership that once drove local integration to nearly 40%. While recent industry shifts affected the momentum, the company remains optimistic that ongoing reforms will reignite domestic component development.
Pan Nigeria, of course, is a pioneer in vehicle assembly in Nigeria. We have a long history of vehicle assembly, right from 1975 when we started operations. We had a long list of well-recognized, brands, in the country in the 80s, 90s, and these were so popular brand that became assumed by Nigerians as the vehicles of choice. Previously, we used to be a mono brand, but today we are a multi-brand outfit. We have a production setup that can operate multiple brands for the passenger car segment, commercial, and the mass transit.
Collaboration has been central to Pan's growth story. The company maintains a strong working relationship with the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC), supporting the establishment of test centers, standardization processes, and the legislative advancement of the Nigerian Automotive Industry Development Plan.
We must work with NADDC together in our associations, right, to see that there is legislation, there's standardization, there is testing opportunities, and NADDC has invested massively in those testing facilities across the country. All of those are to ensure that we're able to test our materials. NADDC itself has its standards that we must conform to.
In alignment with the Nigeria First policy, Pan commends the government's resolve to prioritize locally assembled vehicles. The initiative, he says, will not only empower local manufacturers but also generate employment and reduce the dependence on imported used cars.
The industry is excited, that you have this policy. I think it's a bold initiative. Coming out with a Nigeria First, policy is an intention to localize, to industrialize. And what they are saying is that if you look at the policy document itself, it's saying that for industries, that can localize, then you have the benefit of being patronized.
On financing, the COO establishes that manufacturing is a capital-intensive venture that requires long-term, low-interest funding. He applauds the establishment of the Nigeria Consumer Credit Corporation as a welcome intervention that will enable Nigerians to access affordable, made-in-Nigeria vehicles, a move expected to boost demand and production simultaneously.
It's a good start. I mean, we have taken over 20 years to get to this stage. Yes, the amount is 20 billion. It is always a good start, to have, funding, for the consumer end of it. Sometimes we ignore the fact that the consumers too need to be funded to be able to have access, to our products.
Pan has also embraced Nigeria's transition to cleaner energy. The company has acquired NADDC certifications to assemble hybrid vehicles and has commenced the conversion of internal combustion engines to compressed natural gas (CNG). Looking ahead, Pan is exploring partnerships for full-scale electric vehicle production.
We have embraced it. We have the required certification now to operate hybrid, gasoline and CNG. We have had, some conversions made We're already keyed into this, and we believe very strongly that is a path that we must take. Our long-term goals should be to move into those areas more dominantly, all right, to see how we can balance, energy costs, for our consumers. EVs, we are also there seeking partnerships, in this regard.
In ensuring customer satisfaction, PAN has expanded its after-sales network nationwide. Through strategic partnerships with service centers and parts dealers, customers can access maintenance support and genuine parts across the country, ensuring that ownership remains seamless and affordable.
It is necessary for us to collaborate, all right? Internally, collaborate with other dealers, other assemblers, all right, to share, facilities. Already across the place, a number of service centers are springing up. And so what we needed to do is not to own our own service centers, across the place, but to have strong relationship with these service centers and to ensure that those centers actually meet the service standard, of our organization.
PAN Nigeria also stands out for its unwavering commitment to human capital development. Its learning center in Kaduna serves as a hub for technical training, open not only to itself but to students, young professionals, and other brands within the auto industry. This collaborative spirit underscores PAN's belief that the growth of one is the growth of all.
We are committed to skills development, and that is the reason why we have put in some commitments to our training center, expanding their capabilities, over the years, and the center is not only open to PAN staff, it is also open to other brands, in the country.
Looking ahead, the COO expresses optimism about the future of Nigeria's automotive industry. One with stronger local content, sustainable jobs, and a self-reliant ecosystem anchored on sound policy implementation. He underscores that the full legislation of the Automotive Industry Development Plan will provide investors with the confidence and certainty the sector needs to thrive.
I see that there's going to be growth, there's going to be job creation, there's going to be content development. I see better linkages in the future.
From pioneering assembly to driving new energy innovation and workforce transformation, PAN Nigeria Limited continues to shape the nation's automotive journey, building vehicles, capacity, and confidence in Nigeria's industrial future.
Well, that brings us to the end of this edition of Automotive Hour. From the growing importance of recycling in strengthening Nigeria's automotive industry, to PAN Nigeria Limited's decade-long contribution to local assembly, skills development, and technology transfer, one message stands clear. Sustainability, partnership, and policy alignment are essential to building a resilient automotive future. At the National Automotive Design and Development Council, we remain committed to championing implementable policies, deepening local content, harmonizing standards, and supporting stakeholders across the value chain to deliver a competitive, sustainable automotive sector that creates jobs and drives national development. Thank you for watching. Do well to follow our social media handles showing on your screen for more updates, features, and stories shaping Nigeria's mobility future. Join us same time next week for another exciting edition. Until then, I am Maimuna Ahoiza Zubair, and this is Automotive Hour. Bye for now.